So today we're going to talk about what the metabolism is. What is cellular respiration? What is physical therapy? Is physical therapy any different than cellular respiration? And we're going to discuss the work of Otto Warburg and the Warburg effect, and also Russellian science by Walter and Leo Russell. And their philosophy, as outlined by the University of Science and Philosophy, is has like completely revolutionized my understanding of the universe and God and light and spirit and soul. And their work really ties in with Ray Peat's work and Otto Warburg's work and Albert St. George's work on cellular metabolism and the metabolism in general. So if I had to explain to someone, a biology student, or a doctor even, doctors need explaining stuff too, and a refresher on the stuff that they learn in Bio 101. And so basically, the ultimate goal of all cells is through redox reactions, a reductive oxidation of glucose and carbon dioxide. The cells in the mitochondria produce DNA and ATP, adenosine triphosphate, 3 phosphate groups attached to one adenosine molecule. Adenosine keeps you awake, alert, and active and energetic. And so when adenosine rises in the night to wake you up, like a shock or a jolt of adrenaline to like still have you wake up. What are you doing? Still sleeping so late. So that's the purpose of the adenosine and ATP. And so a redox reaction is the breakdown of glucose into pyruvic acid, or pyruvate. And pyruvate it keeps the Krebs cycle going, so it keeps the tire turning, keeps the wheel turning. And you guys like this body armor? It's like for biking and skiing and snowboarding. You know, it meant to protect your arms. When I was recycling bottles, like glass bottles, plastic bottles, metal cans, I put a bunch of the bags on the bike, and I tried to ride the bike, but it just like weighed the bike down. I fell and like scratched up my arms and my legs pretty bad. But yeah, so these things exist for a reason. I think it's cool. It looks like reptile skin, like scales, like armor, sent from Game of Thrones. But like you know, like a night mage or something, night elf. So yeah, when this redox reaction happens, electrons are generated, but also free radicals, so lipid peroxidation byproducts. And if you have too much of these, because of like an overactive fat oxidation type of metabolism, number one, like it increases the rate at which your skin ages. So you look older, faster, more wrinkles, more red skin. Like your skin texture and health are worse overall. And so taking antioxidants like vitamin C and applying them directly to your skin both have the same effect of reversing aging, reversing DNA breakdown, and restoring the cellular metabolism to a more aerobic, oxidative state. And where the work of Albert St. George and Ray Peat tie in with the redox reactions outlined by Otto Warburg. Sorry, that's my German Shepherd. Essentially, what happens is the electromagnetism of God and the universe and light and spirit and soul and all that jazz, it intersects at a convex conical shape, so an ice cream cone or a pyramid. And the North Pole, or the masculine energy of the electromagnetic wave, the field geometry, the cube geometry, the sphere geometry. The cube is a sphere inverted. So box, round, sphere. And essentially, the North Pole spins inward towards the centrex vortex at the center of the spiral. So like a DNA helix, like a starch helix, it spins and spins, and it generates heat as it spins towards the center, and the gravity mass is being pushed and compressed into the center. And that compression is actually enough to like puncture space-time, the field geometry, and it penetrates like a man penetrates a woman. So the masculine penetrates the female, and the north becomes the south. The North Pole becomes the South Pole, and it reverses direction. The axis curves to 180. So at first we begin like this, spinning north inwards, spinning south outwards, and as it expands outwards, the distance unravels and it increases, right? So we go to like a flat surface, whereas before we were a cone shape, we're now a flat curve. And that flat curve is one side of the cube, and this happens on the horizontal axis, on the vertical axis, and on the diagonal axis, and that's why it makes a cube. And in the center, it forms a half sphere, hemisphere, and then in the South Pole, it does the same thing, and it forms a north sphere, and you get a sphere at the very center, a sun. And yeah, so that's how I've managed to tie up Walter Russell, Russellian science, and his wife Leo Russell, who was also a brilliant physiologist and philosopher, and their work with Peat in electromagnetism and cellular metabolism, and Otto Warbug's redox reactions as it pertains to cellular respiration. So I hope you guys learned something, because it's actually pretty simple when you see how all three authors and artists, how their philosophies and their take on nutrition and health and the body actually tie in together. They're very similar, and anyone can understand this. You don't have to have a master's in biology. You don't even have to have even taken high school biology to understand this, because these are fundamentals.